Hi, welcome to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts. Since we are in a time of social distancing, this show is coming to you via WebEx. This is our first time, so we are going to be, we're going to give it our best shot. So, I just want to start out with my show. I just want to say that even though we are in an epidemic, all my seniors, we're thinking of all of you. If someone wants to help you, let them help you. Since you shouldn't be out of your house running to the store several times a day, stay home and let people spoil you because you want to stay healthy. So we are going to take a quick break and I'm going to introduce you to Renato. Renato is from Griswold Home Care, and we're going to learn about his company and what he might have to offer to you. So come on back.
When emergencies threaten, you want to know immediately. In the City of Brunswick, residents receive alerts from Code Red. The Code Red service works with a database of phone numbers of Brunswick residents. Depending on the size and scope of the emergency, Code Red alerts either all of the city or just the part that is affected.
This is a Code Red message from the City of Brunswick.
As a city resident, you also have the opportunity to add warnings about severe weather, such as tornadoes, thunderstorms, or flash floods. If you want to be sure that you are registered, or if you want to add or change your notifications or phone number, we encourage you to visit the Code Red website. You'll find a link to Code Red on the city's website, www.brunswick.oh.us. Just click on the button for complete information and options.
Welcome back to Golden Years. I'm Lori Betts. And we have, my special guest this month is going to be Renato from Griswold Home Care. I just wanted to start out that we are halfway through 2020. This year has been a very challenging year. March 1st, I lost my very good friend Cindy Schneider, and that set me back a little bit. Then a week later, the governor put the state into shutdown. So that was a whole new lifestyle. So, and with GTB being an essential company, I am working daily. We adjusted our hours, but we are here to help the people. Life goes on. There's many people who have needs, and they have to be filled. So while you're home taking care of yourselves, there are many, many people out there getting things done behind the scene to help all you seniors out. I have Renato here from Griswold Home Care, and we're going to talk about his company and find out what he has to offer and if this epidemic has affected him and how it affected him. So welcome, Renato, to my show.
Hi, Lori. How are you? Welcome. Thank you.
So I was just telling my viewers how right now this epidemic did change so many people's lives, put them on hold. They're distanced from their families. So the seniors need to say yes to people who are reaching out to them and someone who needs to help them. And I know your company, being a home health care company, you do have several people who can go to the homes and help out seniors. So tell us a little bit about your company.
Sure. First of all, I'll make a correction. We are non-medical home care, not home health. There's often that distinction, or people confused with the home health versus the non-medical home care. We are just down the street from Lori's. We also in Brunswick, kind of neighbors, close to St. Ambrose Church, if people know where that's at. But yes, what we do is we go into the homes, we help families with their daily needs. When it comes to helping with medication reminders, doing shopping, running errands for them, We're helping them with companionship, making meals, and especially obviously in this time now with COVID, we're really trying to minimize our clients going out if they don't really need to go out. And our caregivers are doing that. We are doing that for our clients. That is a service that we provide.
So right now, your clients have the same caregiver going into their homes?
Yes, we've changed some things during COVID. We've minimized our caregivers. Basically, the way we do is we have one caregiver per client. We are trying to minimize exposure to the clients so that people aren't getting exposed to multiple people coming in and out of the home. Normally, prior to the COVID, we might have had 2 or 3 caregivers in a home. It all depends on how often the services are provided during the week. Some clients we have 1 a week. Some clients are multiple times a week, 3, 4, 5 times a week. So we are minimizing the visits with one caregiver to each client right now.
Okay. And that probably makes the senior feel safer with someone who they really get used to.
Yeah, it's something we decided to do. We just felt that it would put people's minds at ease if they only had, again, we're trying to eliminate the exposure with germs and viruses and things of that nature getting around. We also, part of what we do is our caregivers are self-checking daily. We have part of our app, prior to them leaving, they have to do some self-checks. And that's obviously we're following the CDC protocols and guidelines. Our caregivers do check temperature, fever, if they have a fever, for chills, for coughs, sore throats, anything of that nature. If they're not feeling well, they are not going in. And we also helping our clients, assessing their clients on a daily basis. Some are weekly because we may only be in there once a week at the time.
Have you lost families during this situation? I mean, are family members stepping up to the plate because they either got laid off or they chose to not go to their jobs and they decided to help mom and dad?
We've got a little bit of everything, yes. We have seen an impact. We have lost some business due to families being furloughed, people not working currently due to either their choice, whatever, or their businesses are closed. So they are home, maybe caring for their loved ones. We have been impacted by it. Yes, we have.
Hopefully, things might go back to normal. I don't think it's anytime soon, but down the road.
Yes, I think, we'll see what happens with Governor DeWine here, and, things keep moving around, dates move around, but hopefully, yes, things will get to somewhat of a new normal, whatever you want to call it. We'll see what happens, but we're thinking it will, and we're hoping.
And now, like the families that you deal with, I mean, I know a lot of people I talk to, they say, okay, I have not seen mom and dad. What I do is I buy them food or whatever they need. I put it on the porch and I don't even, go into the house. Are a lot of your clients not seeing their family members, their loved ones?
Oh, we actually do have a lot of our families that aren't seeing their loved ones. The ones that we currently care for, there's quite a number of them. Our caregivers are their pseudo family now, in a sense, because of the fact that their loved ones are staying away or minimizing exposure or staying, obviously, the social distancing, maybe from mom and dad or a spouse. We've got situations where we've even had spouse move out of the house because of a compromised immune system with a client of ours. So there are some different scenarios. We've also had situations, too, where we've picked up some extra hours with some of our clients because some of our families are maybe first responders. So we've seen an uptick in some of those hours with some of those clients.
Let's say if you have a situation, let's say Mrs. Jones needs to go to the hospital. Is that your choice, or do you deal with the family first and say, mom is having issues?
Well, we're always going to include family in the conversation. Fortunately, we have not had anybody that has been hospitalized since we've been through this crisis right now. We've been very fortunate,
Very
and
important.
same with my caregivers. Again, we're doing the self checks of our clients. If there's any dialogue, it's going to be, we communicate with our clients, I would say our caregivers daily, and our clients on a weekly basis. If there's a concern, they know to contact us, or the caregiver will have a conversation, and we will communicate with the family too. We're very big on communication. Communication is key. We've got to have that. And it's when it comes to a person's health, we're going to include the family.
As it should be. And I'm sure your caregivers do not want that responsibility put on their shoulders either.
Well, again, there's only so much we can do. We are not home health. We have been implementing some telehealth too with some of our clients. Obviously, that's been an important factor here now with, the non-essential surgeries, whatever you want to call them, or visits even to doctor's offices. And that's been a good source for families to utilize, the telehealth.
Well, on my end, I'm getting a lot of calls from family members because they do want to take mom and dad home from the nursing home, or taking out of the assisted living because they feel they could care for them, much better. But at that time, I mean, you're taking the senior out of one situation and putting him into another. How hard would that be? I mean, I know it's a judgment call, but that would have to take a lot of adjustment, and health wise and mental.
Well, what we've implemented is, unfortunately, just to be safe, people have to self-quarantine for a period. If there's not a verification that they aren't COVID positive, that's our policy right now. We're not home health. We can't, when we're dealing with COVID symptoms, people have fever, coughs, things of that nature. We have to report that to family, and families have to respond and figure out what we want to do next. We can monitor the situation for a period of time, but this is something that we prefer families get involved and make a decision one way or another to get checked out however they need to be checked out, either the doctor or through telehealth, and talk to appropriate professionals.
Does your company offer 24/7?
Yes, we do. We are very limited with that 24/7 care right now. It can be an option. That's something, again, we'd have to talk on a case-by-case basis with the client if somebody's looking for that type of service. The majority of our services are hourly, daytime, evenings, or overnights right now is what we provide. We do some live-ins also.
Okay. It all depends on the family and what their needs are.
Correct. It's what is the current situation, and we will go out. We will do an assessment. We're trying to do some things electronically with paperwork. There's paperwork that has to be taken care of, obviously, prior to signing up for services. But those are things that, yes, we will discuss with the families on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. And now a lot of people ask me, who do you suggest as a non-medical home care company? Would there be questions that a care or a family member would want, how do I want to say this? Is there a checklist that they could go down and they could say, I want, this is what I want for mom, or can we, how do they know who's the right company to choose? Do you just try company A, and then if company A doesn't work out, go to company B?
Well,
What would you tell this the family member to look for in choosing?
what I usually tell families is obviously references are important. We can provide references. Any company would be able to, but honestly, our biggest referral source is word of mouth. People that have used us previously, families have used us, second generation, third generation. We've been in business in Medina County now for 12 years. We are in Brunswick. We cover Medina County. Um, I feel that our office, we have spectacular caregivers. Our caregivers are great. Our services, we truly delivered with heart. That's part of our tagline. Our branding, we're about accommodating families' needs. We give people the help they need to live in a place they love. That's based on whatever their needs are. We've cared for people end of life, hospice situations, to simple, simpler needs with maybe companionship. But every company out there, it's your level of comfort with that person, talking to that person. Obviously, you want a company that's been around a while. Compare rates. We charge one rate no matter what the service is. Some companies charge various prices for various services.
Levels.
Yes, we don't. We're one flat rate, and it's all inclusive. We don't charge different things for different services. So,
What advice would you like to give my audience? So let's say Sally realizes that mom needs help. So she needs to call company A, B, and C. Um, she has to interview you, technically. So what should be one or two of the key questions that she's going to confront you with? Or any company?
well, I think there's a lot of companies out there. The key is, you mentioned with caregivers, and that's what I always brag about with our caregivers. But I feel that people have to look at certain factors, and again, if they're comfortable talking to me, part of what we do is we go out and do an assessment at the home. We will go over things with them in depth. Again, it's truly about communication. I can't stress that enough. It has to be two-way communication with families. For us to be successful and for us to provide the services with the family, they've got to take our recommendations in hand. We want them to be in a safe environment. We recommend, obviously, talking to you, your store, getting implements in place, putting grab bars in, thinking of, safety items that need to be in the home. Because in order to age in place, you have to have the right equipment in the home. And those are things that, we feel are imperative, from wheelchairs to potentially, it's walkers, wheelchairs, hospital beds, Hoyers, all the equipment that we're going to require for our caregivers to safely help the families or help the individual in the home. We want them to be safe, and that's some of the things that we have to strive to get in there. And not necessarily have to be in place right off the bat, but we do want this within a short window in order for us to truly be able to help the individual age in place.
You can't spring it on mom that, oh, by the way, Renato's coming over and we're talking to him. She's got to lead up to the situation that, mom, you do need some help in the home. I can't be here 24/7. You need to talk to people. You need help doing, either getting out of bed in the morning, going to bed at night. So she's got to be on board, even though a lot of seniors do not want anyone in their house. I get that, and I'm sure you get that. But it's got to be, like you said, you got to open up that line of communication.
It is a conversation that has to be had beforehand. I see this all the time. We've been thrown into situations where, sometimes families, uh, children, spouses, we come in and they're like, well, who's this and what are we doing? And it's like a really uncomfortable situation. We don't
Oh, I
want to
bet.
be in those kind of situations. We expect that the person that we've spoken to, because that's part of my dialogue with the family, is are they accepting of the care? Do they understand what's going on? Those are some of the predetermination of questions that we want them to be able to answer. And we can't force our services on anybody. They have to be willing participants. And sometimes it is very difficult. Yes, it's not always a good fit, because if they're coming in with this, that is being forced down their throat, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
But going back, I was going to finish answering the question previously, because I wanted to talk about, too, caregivers and screening, things that people don't realize sometimes when they're talking to companies. We do annual screenings here at this, out of our office. It's very important to make sure, and even when people hire somebody privately, the concern is about liabilities, insurances, workers' comp. As our employees, these are our employees coming out to you. Those are things that we are providing already for the client, to keep them safe, that they're not having to worry about, the issues that are going to come along with that. Who is the employer of the person? If you're hiring somebody privately, nowadays people don't realize that. But that is something that can come around to bite them too, when it comes to that. So
That's a very
I
good
kind of wanted
point.
to circle around back to that question. Sorry.
Anything else would you like to leave my viewers?
Think of it as a stepping stone. It is less costly. When you look at the cost, the numbers for families to transition, it's a transition. I think it can be a lot easier received. Again, we give people the help they need to live in the place they love.
And I do want to say kudos to you, Renato, because I have sent several people over to you and they have responded, and they said just talking to you, it was very helpful for them. And at that time, the senior might not have said, yay, and they put it on the back burner, but they felt very comfortable.
Well, thank you. I feel very passionate about what I do. I got in this business because of a personal need. I was dealing with family issues with my wife being seriously ill, my dad terminally ill with cancer. That's how I got into this business. And I feel that it's, again, I'm very involved. I'm very passionate about what I do. And we're trying to help families. Bottom line, give them direction, advice.
Well, I'm glad you joined us today. Like they say, we're in this together, so we're going to get through this together.
Yes, yeah. Hang in there. We'll get through this.
Exactly. And to all my viewers, to all my seniors, please stay safe and healthy. And hopefully you'll catch us next month. Have a good month.
make me wear my bike helmet. It taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.